LoreWarrior double feature, the Grizzly. Overview. So far observed only in Ghost Bear garrison clusters, the Grizzly is a multi-role heavy mech that shares design concepts with Clan Ghost Bear's two favourite omnis, the Vulture and the Gladiator. Though slower than other mechs in its class, the Grizzly makes up for its lack of speed with jump jets and effective long-range weapons. Though the Grizzly is a unit with many potential uses, it has thus far failed to find a niche among the Clan Ghost Bear forces, in part because it lacks the focus of its parent designs on a single combat role. Capabilities. Ghost Bear Provisional Garrison Cluster commanders use the Grizzly for roles that other clans tend to fill with Thors and Lokis. The mech's heavier armour and standard engine give it a much higher survival rate than the Thor and Loki models, which is a fortunate event because it is difficult to repair. The Grizzly has layers of sloped armour that tend to lodge in place when damaged, and its bulky leg actuators are apparently unique and hard to obtain. The Grizzly is jump capable and mounts a deadly array of weaponry, featuring a massive Gauss rifle in the right arm. The mech's left arm sports a trio of pulse lasers, similar to but smaller than the array featured in Configuration D of the Gladiator. The mech's long-range firepower is supplemented by a 10-pack of long-range missiles in the left torso. Deployment. Though the Grizzly has been in service for more than 100 years, it apparently has never been a popular design. Hundreds of these mechs are still on active duty in Ghost Bear PGCs, even though the Grizzly has not been manufactured since 3013. These numbers are a strong testament to the Grizzly's excellent survivability rate in combat. Current intelligence shows Grizzlies scattered throughout the Ghost Bear occupation zone. 3058 Upgrade Overview. Once observed only in the Ghost Bear garrison clusters, the Grizzly is a multi-role heavy mech that shares design concepts with Clan Ghost Bear's two most prevalent omnis, the Vulture and the Gladiator. Plagued with the jack-of-all-trades master of non-stigma, it's never fully found a niche in the Ghost Bear forces, in part because it lacks a single combat focus. With word of atrocities occurring among the Razelhag Republic in the current jihad, however, the Bear Towman has begun to re-look at this out-of-production design for immediate manufacture, in order to quickly boost materiel for their anticipated entry into battle. Capabilities. An older mech design plagued with flaws, its layers of sloped armour do tend to lodge in place when damaged, causing havoc with joints and even weapon ports. It still finds its use in many garrison forces, however. The Grizzly is jump capable, and does sport an array of weapons that cover the gamut of ranges. The Gauss rifle and 10-pack long-range missiles give it a punch even at long range, while a trio of pulse lasers add ferocity to its short-range dust-ups. However, because the mech isn't geared to either type of combat exclusively, it limits its use in the harder-hitting offensive galaxies of the Bear forces, and is typically seen in the greener provisional garrison clusters. Deployment. Manufacture of the Grizzly ceased in 3013, though there still remains a large number of the designs scattered amongst the Towmen. A recent overhaul of the Grizzly was experimented with after the Combine War in 3063 showed that the Combine was using battle armor troops more effectively. In conjunction with the Golem Battle Armor project, the technician and scientist cast endeavoured to develop a mech that would complement the urban-style Defender armor. Most deployed Grizzlies are seeing recalls to reconfigure the mech to a newer, more deadly urban defense variant. Variants. What has become known as now the Grizzly 2, and coincidentally better received amongst the Bear Warrior cast, evolved from a Star Captain's custom machine that was used to surprising success in the hard defense of Last Frontier during the Dominion Combine War. Impressed by the Star Captain's Grizzly's unusual weapons array, the clan immediately ordered all of the 12 Grizzlies changed to this new designation. Retaining the Gauss rifle system, the pulse laser array is removed for a larger array of 6 ER micro lasers. This unusual array has a slightly longer reach than standard machine guns without the deadly cargo pack of ammunition. Additionally, the long-range missile pack was replaced with a newer 9-rack advanced tactical missile system, of which warriors are encouraged to load up on HE warheads if fighting in close-quarters combat occurs. An ER large laser rounds out this revamped design. Notable mech warriors. Star Captain Scott. Known as Pagan behind his back, the quiet Star Captain is almost revered amongst his comrades in the 12th PGC for his then unique custom Grizzly that paved the way for a renaissance of the venerable mech. Normally quite reserved outside of the battle zone, his nickname comes from his incessant use of every possible religious figure in mankind's history as his own personal swear vocabulary in the heat of battle. His impressive kill record against combined battle armor forces on Last Frontier, taking down over 14 troopers, of which 3 were in Kanazuchis, has reignited his fading career and put him in line for the next available Girdle blood name. MechWarrior Targa. A veteran of the Hell's Horse's attacks in 3063 on Goito, and one of the few surviving members of Kappa Galaxy, Targa held off a recon star of horseman vehicles in the Ribaldi Canyon, a veritable hell of lava flows and heat storms. Using his Grizzly's weapons to great effect and riding a high heat curve, he accounted for 8 of the 10 horses at range, using the canyon's tall walls for sniping and cover. A final death from above maneuver shattered a horse's minion hover tank and nearly decapitated Targa, removing him from active duty for almost 2 years. Even clan medicine was pushed to its limits here, but his spectacular prowess warranted the time and effort. Failing his trial of position to claim a place in Tau Galaxy, he has since disappeared from Gunzburg and the Bears. The Clan Watch has since reported sightings of him among the dregs of humanity on Solaris 7. So the Clan Grizzly, a 70-tonner in the chassis that has the brilliant name of the Type 56-45C modified Endo Steel. Its power plant is a 280 RFUM Fusion. It has a cruise of 43 and a max speed of 65 kph. Its jump jets are Clan Standard 14X Series Standard, jump capacity 120 meters. Its armor is the Arcadia Compound Delta 7 Standard. Its armament is a single Omega 12 coil Gauss rifle, a single Type 10 short bow LRM-10 launcher, a Colibri Delta Series large pulse laser, and a Colibri Delta Series medium pulse laser, and a Chi Series small pulse laser. It's manufactured, well, not anymore, but it was manufactured on Cadia, but it ceased function in 2013 for manufacturing. Its communications is the Garrett T10B, and its targeting and tracking is the Series 6 kit. So, stats-wise, this translates into a walk of 4, a run of 6, and a jump of 4, with 22 heat dissipation via its 11 double heat sinks. It has armour of 9 on the head, 31 on the CT, with 10 on the rear, 23 on the side torsos, 7 on the rear, and 22 on the arms and legs. Its Gauss rifle is located in the right arm, as you can see in the artwork. It's Fahoozin massive, with 16 rounds. It has the large pulse, medium pulse, and small pulse all in the left arm. It has a LRM-10 in the left torso, with its ammunition also provided there, and it spreads its 2 jump jets across the left and right leg. It's not a bad looking mech. In fact, my first encounter with it, funnily enough, wasn't in the books. It was in MechWarrior 2 Mercenaries way back when, which I may be misremembering, but I remember the roster of MechWarrior 2 Mercenaries being absolutely vast. I mean, there were a lot of mechs that you could pick up in that game. And the Grizzly was one of the ones that I remember playing around with a lot in just the kind of, fight the AI skirmish mode. Back in the day where if you zoomed in, because of the way the camera worked, you couldn't. The pixel would always jump to the left or to the right of the thing you were looking at a certain distance, so it made it impossible to do sniping. It's just a quirk of many quirks with MechWarrior 2 Mercenaries. That game was extremely buggy. You want to talk about buggy releases today? Ho ho ho! Go have a look at MechWarrior 2 back in the day when that thing launched. Rose-tinted glasses have to be removed for that one. But the Grizzly, yeah, it's an interesting mech. It's another clan mech that is just that. It's a battle mech, not an Omni. But it's got some interesting equipment. It's a good trooper. It's a heavy trooper, basically. One that you could, as it states, is used a lot by garrison clusters. So you're running a mission where you're playing a bunch of, say, combine forces fighting on a border planet or something like that, and yeah, you bump into the Ghost Bear Dominion garrison cluster, and that's like one of the big bads you're going to face out there is going to be one of these things. It says they're in quite large numbers, so I wouldn't be surprised as well if players could get hold of these as well and probably have themselves a bit of clan tech in there past a certain point. It's still dangerous without being too overly armored and too quick, that kind of thing, but it can give a nasty hit in return. It's not a bad mech. I do quite like the Grizzly. It's decent for what it is. And you know, a lot of the time you can't ask for more than that really with a battle mech. You just need something that's got a good solid set of equipment, and it's going to be able to, you know, do the business. It's a shame that it doesn't actually it doesn't have the write up in the upgraded TRO here for the Grizzly 2, but you know, that said, it was basically just a pack of ER micro lasers, and the other weapons remain. So I think an ER large laser as well. So it's not bad, but it'd be interesting to see what the other compromise is there in terms of, does it gain more armor, does it gain more heat sinks, does it lose heat sinks, that kind of thing. It's a pity that isn't really listed, but that's why they want you to buy the record sheets, so you can get all that information. But yeah, that's the Grizzly. It's not a bad clan mech. I don't dislike it. I think the artwork doesn't really do it justice. I remember it being in the, I'm going back to the PC game again from years and years ago. I do remember it being quite a bit taller. It had a bit more of a kind of larger sort of a taller frame that was a bit skinnier. The artwork makes it look kind of short and stubby and a bit quite wide, and I don't think it's meant to look like that. Also, I imagine the Gauss rifle just needs a complete rework, because how big are the rounds coming out of the barrel of that thing? It's gigantic. But anyway, I'll see you next time, as always. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you next time. Bye bye.